Welcome, fellow haunters. What you're seeing right here is my coffin. On a video, one of my videos, I think about 2 videos ago, a YouTube user, Banana Flavored Lizard, gotta love that name, asked me how I made my coffin because he wanted to make one. So rather than showing you the yard, which is not exactly where I want it to be right now, I thought I would show you my coffin. So here it is. Now I actually have this in another video from a couple of years ago, but I didn't really explain a whole lot about how I made it. Now what you'll see is the lid going up and down here. That is a little motor inside which is lifting the lid up and down. Usually to enhance the effect I put a light inside of it, but didn't have one at the moment, so I just have it like this. So let me show you how I made this. Now, I hope that you're not going to be too disappointed because I don't have any really detailed instructions. And I'll be honest, I made it, hang on a second, I kind of cobbled it together with just some stuff that I happen to have at the moment. I.e., what I happened to have was a Rubbermaid garden shed that came in a big box, and what you're seeing here is pretty much the big box after I got done with it. So, you know, if you can find any kind of big box, you can probably do something like this. But I'm gonna guess that probably most of you do not have a box for a Rubbermaid garden shed sitting somewhere in your house. Anyway, let me show you what I did. So the box is one of those boxes where the top and the bottom are the same size. In other words, it's sort of like a clamshell. You know how a clamshell is exactly the same size on the top and the bottom? Well, that's what this is. So what I ended up doing is I ended up doubling up the top and the bottom to make the cardboard double thickness. What that means is that I cut out a coffin shape out of the top of the box and a coffin shape out of the bottom of the box and glued them together. So now that's double thickness cardboard there on the bottom. And since the box was wider than the coffin itself, when I cut the sides off of the bottom and the top of the box, I was able to leave this little lip here. See that right there? That's actually, this was the bottom of the box, and then this is it. That was the corner right there. And these are the sides. And I just left that little lip there so that I could glue it to the bottom of the coffin. And then you'll see this is a little leftover piece there about how the box was made. Then I glued the side, I glued the other side of the box right next to the previous side. Boy, that it really makes no sense whatsoever. Let's just say that what you're seeing here is both sides of the box glued together. So again, I have double thickness cardboard here all around the edges, just like I have double thickness cardboard down there on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. See that little hole I cut there? That's double thickness corrugated cardboard. And that's basically what it is. I cut out the box, I doubled up on all the cardboard so it was nice and stiff, and it worked out really well. Now since I used up all of the cardboard making the actual coffin, I had nothing left over for the lid. So for the lid, I used the insulating foam. Same sort of stuff I use for my tombstones. It's actually that pink foam over there that you see. I think it was 1/2-inch foam is what I used. And I just traced out a shape of the coffin. Actually put the coffin itself on top of a 4x8 sheet of foam and traced it out. And then I traced out another shape slightly smaller than the lid so that I had this nice little lip here where I could go ahead and put that on top of the coffin and it wouldn't slide off. It would just sort of nestle right in there on the inside of the coffin. And then I covered the whole thing with wood grain contact paper. You know, it's shelf paper. Well, some of it's used for shelf. The contact paper is actually used for crafts and other things. You can find it at home improvement stores, craft stores, that sort of thing. And although it does not look entirely realistic, I should say it doesn't look even remotely realistic when you look at it up close. It does look pretty good for the amount of time I spent on it, which was only a couple of hours. Now this little motor you see over here that's still going, that is let me get up closer, that is what's called a reindeer motor. That's the kind of motor that those Christmas reindeer decorations, lawn decorations, use to make the heads go up and down or back and forth. And they're really, really good for uses like this for a couple different reasons. First of all, they're made to be used outside. So if it gets wet, it's going to be okay as long as you don't submerge it in a bucket of water. And if it's and the other reason that it's really good is because you can see it moves slow. You know, a lot of motors that you get, spin around really fast, and you have to gear them down or do something to make them move slower. This is designed to move slow, have a slow motion, so that works really well. And it comes with all the hardware that you need to attach it to something to make it move back and forth. It's got this, oops, there it is. It's got this cam right here, and it's got this rod right here that you attach to something that then will make it go up and down, just like that. I just attached it to, I just attached it to a little tube here. This is actually a Bic pen that I cut off, and it slides right in there. It's attached to this piece of plastic with some zip ties. Plastic's glued to this. Like I said, it was a real quick and dirty deal, but it worked out pretty well. So anyway, that's my coffin, just made out of a cardboard box with a couple hours worth of work. You can, of course, make something much more elaborate out of real wood. You can also paint instead of using the wood grain contact paper, but I'm lazy, so I also have no artistic talent whatsoever, so I decided to go this route. That's my coffin, and if it helps you out there make your own coffin, great. So tomorrow or the next time I post a video, I'll show you a little bit more of the yard that I've got going, but hopefully I want to get a little bit more done before I show you what I've got out there. Till next time, remember, don't turn around. There may be something behind you. Happy haunting.